What episode is this? 16?
I believe it's 17.
Episode 17.
Yeah, what if it's 16?
Wow, just like that. Hello, welcome to the Mostly Sorry podcast. Are we rolling?
Rolling.
Wow, keep rolling. Come on, all right.
Rolling with
Hello,
the
welcome,
homies.
guys. What a, shut up. I haven't brought you on yet. Anyway, I'm sorry, that was aggressive. I feel bad.
No, I
You're
just-
here. No, it's
I
natural.
wanted to make a good entrance.
You will.
Okay.
In fact, I have an idea for it, but let me start out by saying this. Here we are at the Hollywood Improv. You know, who'd have thought? You know, when I was a child, when I was maybe 4 or 5, I dreamt that one day I would do a podcast at the Hollywood Improv, and here we are. And you know, we started the show during COVID-19, and the show sort of changed. But in my mind, what I always wanted to do with this show was basically keep my friends hostage for an hour plus. You know, they're stuck with me. And now that we're here, you know, all my dreams can finally come true. And, you know, we got staff walking around. It's great. Hello. And I'm not even sure that's staff. You know, maybe we should have called the cops on that person. But what I've learned in life is if you walk around like you know what you're doing, no one's going to ask you anything. And today on this show, I have somebody who does just that. And look, I got a great idea. I think you should go from behind the curtain.
Oh yeah, cut this part out though.
No,
cut it out.
don't
No.
give me work. Just
No, we'll cut
introduce
it
her.
out. No, we're going to cut it out. Just go behind the curtain.
We're going to cut it out.
No, just go behind the curtain.
We're going to cut it out.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right,
try.
forget it.
Nice
Walk
try.
this way. We tried. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, the first guest on Mostly Sorry podcast, Jessie Jet Ski Johnson. Yeah.
Wow, thanks for having me.
Well, I thought the horn was a little much, but
You told me to bring the horn.
I absolutely did not. But I thought about it on my way here. I was like, for sure she's bringing the horn because I know how you roll. You don't leave the house without all the possible tools you're gonna need to
Trumpet
succeed.
and mouthpiece.
Mouthpaste?
Mouthpiece.
Oh, I thought you called it mouthpaste. I was like, is this a weird thing Arizona people
Don't you
call
brush your
toothpaste?
teeth with mouthpaste?
Mouthpaste sounds like something like, I don't know, name a state that would call it mouthpaste, that would call toothpaste mouthpaste.
Arizona.
I was going to say that. Shout out to Whataburger. Not to bring... Okay, anyway. I should have asked you before this if there's anything you don't want to talk about.
Definitely not Whataburger.
I know.
I call it Whataburger.
Whataburger, yeah. That's
Which
a
is-
weird...
It's officially water burger.
Waterburger?
Water burger.
Not
That's
if I have
not
anything
a
to say with it.
Whataburger. Whataburger was the place that my parents would drop me off in between their time to be responsible for me.
Jessie's parents got divorced, and the drop-off spot for the baby was Whataburger.
Well, it was like 6 to 13.
6 years old?
Yeah, I wasn't a baby.
Did that fuck you up? Did the divorce fuck you up?
I mean, I think anything could fuck you up. Like you reminisce as you get older about your childhood and how it shaped you. But yeah,
It fucked you up?
sometimes I notice that it's kind of a double-edged sword. But I'm so much in the moment, and I think that I've developed a sense of, because I could never really fully be with my whole family at once, that I'm always in the moment because it's too hard to think about what I can't.
You brought up double-edged swords. Where can one buy one of these double-edged swords? I keep hearing about them. I have no idea where to get one.
Pretty much any sword.
I want the double-edged one.
Yeah, you're thinking of knives. Knives are one-sided, which is like a
Much like this argument right now. I
in
think you
your
just won.
household.
Yes, and here we are, the Mostly Sorry podcast. I don't give a fuck. I'll do intros in the middle of the show. Who gives a shit? David just grabbed the mic. He's about to yell at me. What's happening, David? How are you?
I was going to just say, make sure you yell into the mic. You know, we did a mic check, and,
Yeah.
you know, it's always fun to do a mic check because people are like, hello, check, 1, 2. And then the show starts, and they're like, hello! welcome to the Hollywood Improv.
In my defense, I did do that, but
is
also
that
this
what we
guy, come on,
sound
he's
like?
trying to get
Anyway,
sound
Jessie,
time
we
here.
do have a tradition on this show, and I know I'm not on camera right now, but we do have a tradition on this show. What we do is we ask Joel. We get 1 minute. We ask Joel how his mental health is. We call it the mental health minute. It
And-
does go on longer than a minute, though.
He gets a minute to answer, or we get a minute to ask him questions about.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I mean, this is a first. I say we can do whatever we want.
I'm pretty sure it's to answer, but he takes longer than a minute, so it must be a minute to ask. So, Joel, how you doing, bro?
At the moment, I'm really happy. This shit makes me happy. I'm excited to be here. I'll tell you what, I'm a little weirded out by the cheating to camera thing, and part of me just wants to say fuck it and just look this way. But I get it. I know. We gotta be Hollywood.
Yeah, so if I'm looking at Joel, I need to look this way.
Yeah.
Is this natural?
Okay.
Or
It
do we
is
look natural
natural
doing this?
I mean,
I like
get
it
it. You
better.
want to have a conversation where you're looking directly at the people, but now that we're breaking the wall, it's like this is how interviews on television are recorded.
What?
A 45-degree angle, two
Well-
cameras, one,
I would
45 degrees,
rather-
that sounds cold.
I would rather do a Biden where I'm talking to Joel, but then when I really want to make a point, I look at you, the people.
Okay, do that, but don't
That's
talk,
right.
don't lean, don't turn direct, don't talk, turn so much towards Joel.
How's this?
Let me look. Hold on.
And then I said to the guy, I said, where did you buy that double-edged sword?
And I said, anywhere swords are sold.
You got to do this one.
Oh, yeah.
Pointing's aggressive.
All right. Well, you guys are off on your own now.
All right,
Enjoy.
great. Oh, shit.
David's
I
The
gave you my
producer
professional
quit.
advice, and then you can do with what you want with it. I'm just the producer of the show. It's Joel's show, and you're the guest, and you guys can have it now.
How do I feel guilty about this now? This is wrong. This is a mental health sort of check-in. What about me makes it weird that I'm guilty now about this?
Because if you don't do what David says, you're going to ruin it.
Honestly, this ring light, every time I turn and look,
Don't look too far.
I'm sorry. It's weird.
Why?
I don't know, but before the show, I said I'm gonna do a sequel to The Ring called Ring Light, where it's just basically, it's not even a scary movie. It's the girl from The Ring. She has a TikTok now and an Instagram, and she uses a ring light to be a Instagram celebrity.
And
What do you
she
think?
just looks great.
She just looks good all the time. She thick.
She thick.
She got that wop. And
Because she crawled out of a sewer.
That's right. Yeah, I was telling David before I got here, and this might end up being a story. By the way, hold on, let me backtrack real quick. How do you ever talk about mental health stuff? How do you feel? I mean, do you ever deal with any sort of thing like that?
Yes, because I have a mind, so I deal with it.
Some people don't think you do. I don't want to say it, but some people online,
A lot of people actually say, oh, you're always happy. Like, don't change. Like, but I deal with stuff.
yeah.
But I think through the years I've done a very good job of finding balance, and most things I get sad about are just not being with my family as much as I'd like to be, or like, just being in a place and I just how time's moving forward, you can't stop it. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of things I struggle with.
What do you do? Do you have, I guess just we can make this short so we don't dig deep into, like, we're not just like crying on this show right now.
We
but
could. We got a bottle of wine.
You're right. That's true. That's true. This is actually Republican Tears. It's a new brand. It's from Italy. I'm kidding.
They made that fast, huh?
Well, there was an excess yesterday. It actually hasn't fermented, but it's high in alcohol and cocaine. So
Still a good year to me.
what are things that you like, sort of things you do that help you sort of get through those rough times?
It's a lot of learning from the past. Like, example that just pops into mind is, since I do freelance work, or I used to before the pandemic, a lot of like production assistant jobs, and they would come and go, and sometimes I'd get so scared about if I will get another
that
job.
feeling, man.
And money, like I always get so scared about money and if I'm gonna be able to survive. And I've been on my own for a long time and stuff, but there's these waves where I'm like, I don't want to ask for money. Like, I really hate asking for money, and every time, like right when it gets down to the end, something happens, and then
Yeah.
I'm like fine. And so now I just try to not worry as much if my financial situation dips, and try not to let my mental situation dip just on past experiences. I try
Yeah.
to learn and remember and just hope and trust that like everything will be okay.
It's hard to remember when you're in it.
I know, but
I've had that too. And I'm not religious, but like there have just been times where I'm like, damn, something's like looking out for me. It's weird. It's been very weird. It's like right before it's bad.
I heard something great recently, and I used to think of the world and life like it comes in waves, and you're either riding an upswing or a downswing. But then somebody told me that, my stepmom told me that it's just change, which we've all heard, but it's not like positive or negative change. It's just change.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I heard it, and at the time it really clicked, like there's no up wave and down wave. It's just, things are just happening.
Yeah.
And through that, I feel like I'm kind of a constant where like these things happen around me, but I can kind of stand strong in this because it's just change. It's not good or bad. It just is.
It's hard. I feel like I put a negative connotation on a lot of things when really it's not there. But yeah, I used to sort of feel a lot like, why is this happening to me? Oh, it's always me. Oh, fuck, like my luck is awful, like all that. But really what I've realized is like, that's just life for everyone. It's like, it's just always that way. And honestly, for the most part, hot take, but life is like mostly bad. Like I would say statistically, if you had to add up the time, most of life is struggling, which is why those happy moments are like so meaningful and so important. I feel like, but I'm saying bad, sort of just trying to put a label on things. It's probably it's way more close to what you said, where like I think as humans we want to label stuff. Really, it's not bad. It's just life. 80% of life is change.
Yeah.
And
I'd say 100%.
Yeah, that's
nothing
true.
will ever stay the same.
Yeah.
Except you. Like, I think about when I was a kid. Like,
That was an attack. Did you mean me specifically?
Except you.
I'm just always
everybody
gonna
else. No. Like, I think about when I'm a kid and stuff, or just even a few years ago, and I always feel this constant thread. Like, I'm always myself. Like, I've definitely changed and grown and stuff, but whatever I am, it has always been.
Damn. I never really thought about that. I don't even know if I have like when I sit alone and like think, I guess yeah, you're right. There's always like that one thing that you are, but I've definitely, you're not talking about just changing, sort of like, I guess you mean like the voice inside your head has always been that
It's
same
always
voice
the same.
inside. Yeah, mine is still the same. I still get excited when I see like dinosaurs, or like I love Planet of the Apes. Like that sort of shit is when no matter how old you get, those things that touched you as like a child. I didn't mean it like that. Came out weird. No.
News break.
Let me tell you. No. But
Oh,
yeah, I
there's
guess,
a lot of things that are changing for me, because when I got COVID, I couldn't taste or smell. I couldn't smell anything. I could taste things. But what's weird is now that I'm getting my smell back, like everything smells rotten.
Damn.
And most things taste rotten. Like this wine has like a weird aftertaste to me, but I've just kind of adapted to it because everything I've read said it might take like a year or more to get back.
That's fucking
So
crazy.
now I'm looking at food way differently. Like I kind of just eat to nourish or drink to get a buzz.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's all like nothing's like for the art of eating, which I love food.
Yeah, me too.
So like that I have to change now. So
damn, that sucks. What did you did that make you sad at all when it first happened?
kind of like I can't eat pizza, and I love pizza. That's why I like the past.
Could you imagine
few
if that
weeks-
happened to Jeremiah?
I know. I think about that every Monday.
It'd be the darkest we'd ever see him.
In
like
fact, I don't even tell Jeremiah, because I feel like me even just telling him that
he'd live through. He'd be like, yeah.
He probably never even thought about like if he couldn't eat pizza.
Do you remember the Instagram filter where it was like sad music and the leaves like?
Oh
falling?
yeah.
Like you say you can't taste pizza, and then you just zoom in on Jeremiah, and it's like the leaves
In
just
real
falling.
life.
Yeah.
Like where do these leaves come from?
Yeah, we're inside. What the fuck? What I was gonna say before we got super serious here, which is fine. I love this. I'm all over the place most of the time, especially when I'm around friends. Like I don't hold like a steady thing very well. Like I jump all over, and I'm super. I've had people tell me they think
Which
I do
is
cocaine and
interesting
stuff.
because you're a drummer. So like literally, one of your fundamental jobs in like a band setting is keeping the rhythm. Like,
yeah, some would argue I don't even do that.
I don't know who.
Anyway, there's funny because one time I was really high and we were playing a gig with the Baby Boys, and in the middle of the show I go, "Oh, if I just stop right now, this whole thing falls apart." Like, and I started panicking about it. I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, and we're mid show, and I'm like, "Oh, if I like." It was a very weird. Anyway, but again, here we are. But I was gonna say before we started talking serious life stuff was we shot I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about. I guess we're allowed to talk about. We shot a video with Jeremiah.
Yeah. Oh, that was so fun.
And I've been laughing about this thing you did like since that day, right? So we're at the beach. These seagulls they keep attacking Jeremiah's food. And out of nowhere, like, okay, all right, there's a lot of backstory to this. I ramble a lot, but you know what? This is where's my camera? That's it. This is my damn show. By the way, we did that on the Jeremiah Wonders episode, and somebody was like, what a hack. He stole that joke.
Oh, yeah.
Where's my camera? Yeah, I know I didn't come up with it. All
It's
right?
a device.
Still works. All right.
Get a radio.
Nice job pulling that mic away there. That was sweet.
I'm telling you, dude, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
That
All right,
was-
cool.
that
Gotta
was
check the levels.
proper.
Thank you. I do like that you have a mic way over there. It's kind of fun. You don't have a camera though, huh?
No, I didn't feel like putting.
I didn't even ask
on.
you how you were doing today, David. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. I get to like kind of zone off and just kind of delve into right-wing conspiracy theories while you guys have your
Wow.
little chat. I'm over here.
Jerking off in the
Yeah,
corner.
I'm jerking off to
What?
Don Trump Jr. melting down.
I'm
It's
happy
good stuff.
for you.
Yeah.
Melting down while you're melting down.
He's melting. They're melting down. I
So
love
so we're shooting this music video. As I'm rambling, I go, Joel, what are you doing? Pull it back. But honestly, I think the people are with me. The seagulls kept attacking the snacks that Jeremiah brought.
Yeah, and Jeremiah, we do a take, and Jeremiah would be like, okay, just I'm in this take, Joel, go watch the seagulls. Or I would be in the take, or Joel would be in the take, and
Yeah.
he'd be like, okay, you go watch the seagulls.
So there's a moment where all three of us are in the take, and the seagulls come, and Jeremiah's like, frick, these seagulls, whatever. And then Jessie, without like missing a beat, which I love, this is what I kind of want to get into with you, is like, without missing a beat, 100% commitment, starts running towards the seagulls and goes, kill them! And it just brought me so much joy. And to this day, like in my head, I'll go, kill them. It was
I
so
don't know
funny.
where that came from, or I didn't even think it would make you laugh that much.
Well,
but-
I think what was fun about it was I got stoned that day.
yeah, that was so funny because Joel's like smoked a blunt on the beach and then was like, oh, I'm really high. Like he was worried about it. And I was like, Joel, you're literally on like the best place to be high.
It was like Malibu. It was
like,
beautiful. Yeah, you're like, there's a
beautiful
great place to be
sunset.
high right now. And I was like, I was freaking out. I was panicking a little bit because it's sort of sensory overload there at Matador
Oh,
because
sure, yeah.
people are doing like wedding photos
Yeah.
and I mean, if they ever see this, and I honestly, with my luck, I think they will. There were these like douchey sort of like this group of
Yeah,
like
Joel hated this band.
they were like a band, right?
Yeah, something like
They
a
were
group
like
of
too
people.
cool for school. They had like they looked like they played at Harvard and Stone like fucking once a week. They have a residency there. They had the hats and they were taking photos with like cigars like as a group. Like there was like
Yeah, 'cause
2 girls and 3 guys.
we were in the car on the way to the beach, and Joel was like, all I want to do with my comedy is just uplift people. And then we got to the beach, and he's like, look at these dumb fucks.
That's what it is, man. I deal with that a lot too. Is like, like my sort of the moral dilemma of like wanting to love everybody, but then also like fucking hating.
Well,
shitty
being
stuff.
honest with how you think. Like, I get that a lot. Like, I try to be nice to everyone and, like, lift people up. Like, I really want people to be happy, like,
Yeah.
fundamentally. But I have thoughts about people that are not nice.
Oh, I
like,
know.
I just, like... And sometimes the funniest I am is when I'm honest, like, with how I feel. And same with you. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to share your truth and, like, what you really think about things. But it won't always lift people, like, everybody up.
Yeah. I guess my thought was like if they were if they were in danger, I would help them. Like if they
Sure,
were,
yeah,
like
you
if they
wouldn't
were
just let 'em
dying, I'd be like,
drown.
nah, douche, you're out, dude.
You guys sat on that rock and took a picture.
Yeah, and I'm just like ready
So
to
wait, what you're
roast.
trying to say, if they told you they were drowning, you would lend a hand.
Yeah.
If they told him we were drowning, not drowning.
Drowning.
Okay. I thought you said
Is
drowning.
that how you really say it? You say drowning?
I might. I'm not sure.
See, this is an instance
Freak-
where I thought David said the word drowning stupid.
Yeah.
So I will say
possible.
what I thought.
What else about
But
David is
actually-
stupid
But-
would you say if you had the opportunity, like on a show of some sort at the Improv?
I would say
possibly today.
Something stupid about David is that I don't see him enough
Mm.
because he's so busy.
Busy avoiding you.
Yeah, that's a
Whoa.
stupid quality of
We're
We're
David.
starting a beef here today. The Jesse Johnson, David
yeah,
Deary beef.
I wish I could see David more, and he's glad he doesn't.
What did you do today, Jesse? What was your...
Well, what did
Avoiding
I
that
do?
beef, you know.
Well, I went
Well,
to
we're
the.
going to keep it a little bit of it for the DVD when we release Beef Volume 5.
Ooh,
we're gonna, like,
that
yeah.
sounds hot.
yeah. Not hot at all. Unless
Beef
it's a hot
Volume
Italian
5.
beef. Unless it's a sandwich or something.
I walked my dog, and Lou walked his dog. And Daniel was there. We all
Do
went.
they get along?
Oh my God, they're best friends. And
Uh-huh.
so my dog is
We
half,
don't know that. I mean,
half
we
Great
don't-
Dane,
yeah.
half Australian cattle dog.
Okay.
And Lou Hinkle, who's a comic, his dog is a pit bull,
Yeah.
and he's 11 years old, and my dog is 6 months old.
Lou's dog is like a tank. Like it's...
He's big.
Yeah.
And Squink, my dog is like tall now.
Yeah.
She's like getting bigger. Like that's the half Great Dane, but they are best friends.
Wow.
Like they love each other, and so they went on a walk today. We went to the Hollywood Cemetery. Which, have you ever been there?
No, I always wanted to because they do like every year on the anniversary of Johnny Ramone's death. They do like they show Rock and Roll High School and like it's this whole like Ramones thing that I've always wanted to go to. But cemeteries and stuff kind of fuck me up. Like
They were.
I
It
have
was
kinda
kind of weird,
PTS
but it's beautiful.
PTSD. Yeah.
It is like really beautiful.
What's beautiful? All the dead people.
Well, like honoring them in such a beautiful way. Like it's so pretty. There's like swans and lakes. And
Sounds expensive.
no, it's free. You just walk in. It's like a.
I bet it ain't free to be buried there.
Oh yeah, I mean.
That's the
you
only
and I won't
cemetery
be
you gotta
there.
pay, starting at $1,500 a month rent.
The only way we would get to the Hollywood Cemetery was if we cremated ourselves
Yeah.
and had someone sprinkle our ashes.
You
in
need
the
a
lake.
headshot to get buried there. You
For
need an
real.
IMDb page. Internet
dead.
movie dead base. Okay, so you walk to the
I
Hollywood
am dead,
Cemetery. I am dead, bitch. The new album from Lil Uzi Vert.
But it was awesome. Like there was nobody there. Like the gates open.
Well,
you just walk in.
There were people there. Let me
No,
tell you.
There were no. Are you a person if you're dead?
I think so.
What if you're cremated?
Let's talk about this. This is interesting to me.
Yeah, because I think
What
once you're dead,
constitutes
you're
a person?
not a soul.
Are dogs people?
Yeah, they got souls.
Well, the Catholic Church would have you believe different. They said
I
dogs
grew
don't
up
go to heaven
Wiccan.
because they don't have. You grew up Wiccan.
Yeah,
I
we
do-
believe in souls.
Wow. Do
We
Wiccans
in
believe?
souls.
Yeah. Do Wiccans believe that animals have souls?
Oh yeah.
Even snakes?
Oh yeah. Wiccans are all about nature and like every creature is important.
I thought
and-
Wiccans were like white people who were like really into hip hop.
Wicca.
Yeah, I thought that.
Well, I don't think that's true either.
Okay.
Wiccans like love Enya.
Okay, tell me more about this.
More
I like
like-
this. Did you? Yeah, I want to know more about. Have you talked about this at like a lot on podcasts?
No, I did a little bit on Dead Air with the Holtzman, and he
Okay.
was like really freaked out.
Damn.
Because
Okay.
he like straight up was like, "What religion are you?" And I was like, "I'm agnostic, but I grew up Wiccan." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Witch."
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry.
Witch. Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, I
your
would say-
dad was the Wiccan.
yes, and my mom was more non-denominational.
And here's a question. Did he get into the Wiccan stuff after the divorce?
I don't know because it was like, I think so, but I think both of them were very spiritual.
Yeah.
And I think after the divorce, he maybe leaned into it more.
Yeah, it was like a rock for him to just.
Yeah, or like
We all
the girl
sort
he
of
was
like
dating.
look for something bigger than ourselves whenever we go through like a change.
Yep.
But So what was that like? I mean, what's your earliest memory of being Wiccan?
It was pretty cool, actually, like thinking about it, because we would go to church, which was like in nature, like in a desert. So nobody's
Very
around.
beautiful out there too in Arizona.
Very beautiful. Yeah, and you go, and I remember there was like, you kind of see everybody and mingle, and most ceremonies, like you would write down on a piece of paper, it would be your will, and you would write down something that you want. Like
my TV goes to Jessie when I die. The DVDs go to...
That took me a second.
I was waiting. I was like, don't laugh.
That's good.
Sell it.
I never thought of it like that. But it was like a little piece of paper, and you write down something. And I wish I could remember, like, the stuff I would write as a child, like, that I wanted in my life.
Yeah, I want a trapper keeper.
Yeah, it's like, I want that doll. But then you, like, roll it up and tie a ribbon. It was all, like, really cool. And then you take it with you, and to get into the circle, you get smudged, which is where you get, like, sage, and, like, this person with a feather will, like, float the sage on you.
They're called Native Americans.
Yeah, Native American. I think a lot of Native American ideas cross
Oh,
over.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But it was all the intent is just to get the bad energy off you. And then when you get to the circle, there's a man standing with a big sword, a double-edged sword. And you would have to go up to him, and everybody knew, somehow everyone knew this secret, and you would say the secret to the guy with the sword.
Wait, what?
And I won't say it because...
What is this,
like
transcendental meditation? Do you have like
But it was like this little saying that you said, and basically it was that you just
Hold on.
went in with good energy to the circle.
So, when are you made privy to this secret? Or
I think my dad told me.
Oh.
When you get up to that guy, tell him this. So you had to know. So you had to know from somebody. And so then he would let
So
you
it's
in.
not much of a secret. It's
Yeah.
like
well, you gotta know. Just
Yeah.
like Hollywood.
Yeah.
You gotta
that's
know
right.
who to talk to.
Yeah. That's right. It's who you know.
It's who you know.
Not.
And I knew my dad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then you go, and then they will let you in, which was cool because you got in.
Uh-huh.
And then you basically just form this circle, and then it's like church. It's like the ceremony. It would be the same as like going into the church and sitting down at the pews, and then, which I also experienced because my cousins were Catholic. So
this is outdoors?
all outdoors. Like
Okay.
every ceremony
What
I've
did you
been
sit
to.
on?
You don't. You stand in a circle.
Ugh.
And
Standing room only.
I remember a few times, like I was a child, so like a few
Yeah.
times I was like, when is this gonna be over?
Dude,
like
how
church.
long does it last? Do you remember?
No, but
I feel like
Not too
Wiccan
long.
masses, they're like when the sun comes
No,
down.
no.
It's like
It's
at
not
the
that
nature,
long.
you know, when the Gila monster rises out of the ground,
it's like Groundhog's
Wicked-
Day.
we will all leave. I don't know. I did the upside down cross, I guess. But that's a misconception, right?
Yeah,
It's very
that's
like
a big misconception. Like it's not devil worship, and it's actually like a belief in positive and negative energy. Like there's a duality, and but it was cool. Like you go. There's like a lot of things that happen, but at one point you go one by one, and you take that little will that you wrote down, and there's like a cauldron or fire pit. You know,
cauldron's very witchy.
yeah, it's
In my head, I want to see a cauldron.
a cauldron is just a fire pit, and
Okay.
so then we would go. You burn your will.
Wait, so the cauldrons is that an actual like if I look it up in the dictionary, cauldron is fire pit, not. I thought the cauldron was
so
the actual
it's like
bowl.
It is shaped differently. And
Did you eat cereal out of a cauldron when you were a kid?
No, but did you eat cereal out of fire pit when you were a kid?
No, but back to you in the studio.
But I will say it's different than a fire pit in that it's only used for like ceremony. So you wouldn't want to go use your cauldron just to like burn papers in or something.
Yeah. Your tax.
Your tax
your
forms.
tax forms. Yeah.
It's like for like everything is all symbolic. It's all like if you're gonna use it for like spiritual special things. So when you bring it out, it's like, oh cool, you know.
Do they ever invoke like the name God, or what is sort of
God and goddess. Goddess is used more, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Like growing up, because when you grow up with the religion, like you don't know how, especially with Wiccan, like you don't know how. Not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah.
Like you just grow up thinking this is life.
Well, you must have
Reincarnation is real. Like
you must have known because you're going to a school that isn't. Did you go to a Wiccan school?
So, no, I didn't, and I did know because. So
Are there
the
Wiccan
priest,
schools?
There's
That's
a
a
priest.
bigger question.
I think so.
Nice.
There's like a priest and a priestess.
Okay.
That runs a church or I don't know, a circle, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're equal in it. So the priestess of the circle we were in had a custody battle. She got divorced, and her kids actually gotten taken away because in court they had mentioned that she was Wiccan, and the judge was like super Christian, and he thought it was like devil worship, and her kids got taken away. I don't know if there were other things involved, but I was told from day one, don't tell people about this.
Yeah.
So until I was like 18, like none of my friends knew, to the point where like when I told them after high school, when I felt like okay telling them, they didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Like they thought I was just like making it up for attention or something.
Yeah.
None of my friends that I have now, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so like that was really weird to have this like big secret. And then my
How
cousins
did that
knew.
feel as a kid? Like, because I feel like, I mean, you hear that with stuff. I mean, this is a complete other thing of that, but like kids keeping, like, you know, say a kid's getting like hit or something, and the dad's like, you don't ever tell anybody about this, or what, or they witness something, you know. It's like, as a kid I couldn't keep my mouth shut at all, so I'm just interested, like, what goes, I mean, I still can't as an adult either. Like what do you remember those moments of like, did you ever want to, I mean, how did that feel to be holding that inside of yourself those years?
Yeah, there were plenty of times where like I felt like no one could ever like really know me because I had this like other life, but I kind of just packaged it. Like, I'm at my mom's house now, this is who I am. Then I'll go to my dad's house like every other weekend. It's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So I kind of like adapted into these.
Being a two-faced.
Yeah, it's on two-faced beautiful person.
I didn't say that.
No, like I really did develop. And then I'm a Gemini, which is also weird because that sign is all about being two-faced. Like, people always say, oh, you're two-faced, or having a duality is really what it is. But, like, I really
saw a little
bit
about that on the ride home from the video shoot, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When my neighbor was...
When you were angry.
Yeah.
I've never seen you angry like that before. It was funny because I kept changing the subject, and then, like, I was like time would go by, I'd be quiet, and be like... Yeah, I just want to fucking. You were just like, not fucking, but you would, and I was like, oh, this is like, you're holding on to this. Yeah.
I wish you hadn't brought that up. I'm just kidding.
We can throw it in the cauldron. It's like it never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's funny because this is the first time I'm having a guest on the show. I'm in a weird space, you know. It's And I'm in my head, I'm already seeing the comments, the YouTube comments, just like, he didn't let Jessie talk enough. He talked too much. I'm in my head trying to.
What? I feel like I'm talking so much.
No, I love it. But
David hasn't said a word.
I actually made a joke. I made a Phil Collins joke, and you guys didn't acknowledge it. So
what was that?
If you told me you were drowning, you would lend a hand.
Oh, that's in the air tonight.
Never mind.
Did you want more of this, Jessie? I'm sorry.
I'm good right now.
Okay,
you guys are doing great.
I don't know Phil Collins very well. My best friend
Well, I'll introduce you next time I see him.
My best friend hates Phil Collins.
That's Bill
so
Collins.
My bad.
She's in Arizona. She hates Phil Collins so much, and I always thought if I had a lot of money, I would love to, like, on her birthday, just blindfold her and take her on a plane, and then, like, when we get there, be like, well, it's a big concert, and then unblindfold her, and it's Phil Collins.
You know what I always wanted to do was like a weird prank? I wanted to steal somebody's car and just park it on the other side of the street, and that's it. So when they wake up, they like lose their fucking minds. Like, what? Like, I swear I parked my car here.
They'll probably report it stolen before they find it.
Yeah, they're like, there it is. All right. Yeah, what I was saying was that when I was maybe between 21 and 25, I knew this like a medicine woman she was from Veracruz, Mexico. She was like sort of like I guess a medicine woman, but like I would go to these healing ceremonies at her house, and there's a lot of similarities between like what you said.
We've done a healing ceremony before.
We did that with she would burn amber, like this amber incense, basically frankincense.
Yeah.
And that's how she would like smudge the room. And then we would smoke this pipe, which was like this mixture of it was like strawberry leaves. It was like stuff. It wasn't like weed, or it wouldn't get you high really, but I would always like hit it extra hard to like to like just get into the zone, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you would get into this circle. She made like a sacred circle. We'd sit on these pillows, and your eyes are closed the entire time, and you have your eyes closed for, I would say, like an hour. Everybody goes one by one, and you're basically like talking about the things that make you sad, the things. So burst into tears. It was these really like intense things. And then what's funny about the modern world and these spiritual things is like at the end of it, you would pick a number between. So they would have like a radio with a CD player with like native music or whatever.
Yeah.
And you would pick a number between 1 and 10, and that's the track they would play on the CD. And you would spin like. You would spin as fast as you could to this music, right? Like, it's to probably achieve this like other states, like the way Tony Robbins fucking breathes, whatever.
Yeah.
And people would throw up and stuff like that. And they were super like sweet about that. They would come with like a thing to like puke in, whatever. It was very.
Sounds like you guys were doing ayahuasca.
It was kind of like that without that,
Yeah, yeah.
But we were sober, other than the thing.
And how old were you?
I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay. You're older.
But afterwards, then you have this whole feast, and like it was really interesting, and I felt like I got a lot out of it. But so when you were saying that about basically the same thing, you do the smudge, you do this thing, you go into the circle, it's been we've seen through like culture all throughout our history, like there are these running things that spirituality will always like touch upon.
It's so beautiful, and it's almost shunned. Like,
yeah, it's very weird because it seems like it's closer to the real truth of
it really
our life
does.
than anything else, but it's like sort of seen as like, oh, like
anytime I trip, like if I do mushrooms or any kind of psychedelic, I always feel these feelings of like that, like the Wiccan church, or like I feel that kind of spirituality and that cohesiveness and that like perfect love. Everybody
it grounds
is like
you. Yeah,
everybody's like in this kind of space and just enjoying each other's energy and stuff. And it's almost anytime I bring it up, and I get why like the jokes are made, but it's so laughed at and like ridiculous. Like,
but it's weird. I mean, and this is a hack joke at this point, but like people believe in like the whole Jesus thing. It's like, and I'm not shitting on that either, but like there are things in the Bible that are truly unbelievable. Like, so it's like weird that somebody's like, oh, you had community and like and love, and you guys set your will and intention for like, what an idiot. I gotta go pray to this dead guy. Yeah. Like whatever. It's like not that's not any less weird. And I'm not like a religion hater. Like I think.
Well, it's the same as politics. It's like Christianity and paganism had been fighting for years, and paganism was before Christianity.
Oh, for sure.
And Christianity won the wars. I forget what. Do you know,
They
David?
had better PR.
What the wars were called?
That's what I heard.
I mean, the Crusades.
The Crusades.
Damn,
that was the Crusades.
Fucking A, that was. Yeah, there's some crazy shit.
Yeah,
in
and
that,
it was
right?
all over. Like, no, our religion is better, and maybe other stuff, but they took the pagan religion and basically turned it into very patriarchal, and all of the like, instead of a god and a goddess, it was a god, and like they took a lot of the writing and moved it in a way that would govern the people the way they more wanted.
Yeah.
And so a lot of at the end of the day, like a lot of the truths are the same, but it is a way to just govern a people, and they won. And so even in Hollywood, anytime you see anything pagan or like Wiccan, it's always kind of like, ooh, witches, they're scary.
Yeah, I attribute that to the posers, though, right? Like, I mean, it's like like even with punk or with hip hop or whatever music, whatever it is you're into, there is a group of people that don't love the thing for the maybe the true root of why we love it, and they sort of put it on it's like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. He's like, you market it, you do this, you slap it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're trying to sell it. You're selling it. It's like they're selling this beautiful thing, and then through that it loses its the beauty. People look at it almost as more plastic now, and so I think it cheapens whatever the actual true like great things that people are getting out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel that with like certain music stuff. I'm like really like. I mean, it happened years ago, right? Like with all the models wearing Thrasher shirts, or you see the Kardashians in like Metallica T-shirts or whatever, and it's like it's almost like the bastardization of like these really meaningful things. Yeah. And it sucks because people are missing the point that there's a lot of really good stuff here.
Yeah, but it's just cool.
Yeah.
Well, and so. Also, I will say that my mom's mom, my grandma, is still very Christian. Mm-hmm. So like she does. I don't think she knows to this day that my dad is
really?
very
That's
Wiccan.
like a secret. Well, she's a big fan of the show, so
yeah,
she just heard it. She's actually here right now. Come on out. What do you call your grandma?
Grandma.
Did you just call her grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
me
she's
too.
amazing. Even like I remember she visited me in LA.
Great
which
magician.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Grandma Johnson.
How good at magic she is.
Yeah.
You
I
said
mean,
amazing, and I was anyway. Never
Yeah,
mind.
I
Sometimes I
mean-
go off on tangents. No one knows what I'm talking about. Here we are.
One of my favorite jokes you made, I like got days later.
I can't wait.
And it was, I think about William's waist size, and you said your waist size is toxic, and it's like it was like and Tony was like, "What does that even?" Everybody was like, "What are you talking about, Joel?" And then a few days later, I was driving, and I was like, "Toxic waist." That's funny.
I'm not gonna lie. When you first said, I go, yeah. What did I mean by that? It took me a while.
But then it hit, and I was like, "That's funny."
I feel like sometimes I love those sort of things. I know that it is such a stretch. I do
Yeah.
I feel like my comedic voice for a long time was a what do they call it? It's a long way to walk for a small drink of water. A lot of
That's
times,
like
you know.
Norm Macdonald was my favorite
Yeah.
comedian. His stuff, he'll
do
do like
love that.
5 minutes from one punchline.
Yeah, the
and it
moth
does-
joke is
Yeah.
like the ultimate of
I
that.
love that. Like,
Man.
it is just a waste of time, but if you're just
Yeah.
like wanting to laugh, like,
Also, what is time? Anyway,
Wow.
you spoke about tripping, and this is weird. I'm not to. I've been thinking. When I got here, I told David that I wanted to start microdosing.
oh, I've
Something
been doing
about
that.
have you? Yeah, how is it? What are your
It's
thoughts
good,
on
and
that?
I think it's helping my like taste problems and just like mental
like in
clarity.
music or movies.
Yeah.
Like,
That's good, but I like it, and it's just like,
how much? So,
and it's
and
not
by the
enough
way,
to,
we're
like,
not promoting
trip.
drug use.
I am. Do it. I
Nice.
think everyone should do.
I don't even know. Well, so
acid.
I don't know what the rules are with this sort of shit. It's like, but I guess say they come after us, that's the best thing that could happen, right? Then we're famous because they wrote about us.
I think everyone should try it at least once if they're comfortable with it. Like you don't.
So okay, let's really think about this statement you think everyone should try it once.
If they're like, it's not for everyone, but if anybody's like, I don't know if I should try it. Like, it's such a mind-opening drug, and I personally feel like it made me better.
Yeah.
How could I not
Well, I remember you saying
say that it's good? Like,
that the first time you did it, you remember having a moment where you were going like, "Oh, I'm not the same anymore."
yeah, it
what
really
was it?
did
You
change me.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, I'll never be the same person again." You had this weird like realization.
Yeah,
right?
which I guess is the same. Like, if anything big happens to you, like you are like, wow, I'm never gonna be the same again. But that was, and I remember you never really think that like smoking weed, like, wow, I'm never gonna be the same again. But like acid is so much stronger than weed.
Yeah.
Like
Wait, are you microdosing acid or
No,
mushrooms?
mushrooms.
That's what I'm thinking.
nowadays, like I'm older, like I had a party phase like when I was
Yeah,
younger, but
yeah.
and I wanted to just, I would even say more of an experimental phase. Like
Yeah,
I
me
just
too,
wanted
for
to
sure.
like try
Yeah.
everything.
Mine was really close to being very destructive and
Same.
sort of got out of there. I'm really happy about that, but yeah, it's weird because I think about it a lot. I go through a lot of phases with that. With like, there are weeks where I'm like, well, I guess this week I'm drinking. I want to like, but like I honestly, talking about like sacred or like the communal aspect of things, there is something about sitting with somebody and like this. It's like, oh, I brought like, you know, nice wine. Like, there is something that gets me outside of me being so inside my head.
Yeah,
Where,
you
and it's
have
fun
to.
with somebody I trust, who I love, and it's like we're here, we're talking. It's like these things. I think when I'm you know on my deathbed or whatever, it's like I will look back to the moments that I shared these sort of talks with people. I think this is some of my favorite things in life are these moments, right? Like really getting into stuff, and I don't know, but I don't know, whatever. I'm
That's
I'm
really
also
all it
second
is.
guessing because it's like we've done Kill Tony for so long. I mean, I've been involved with the show maybe almost 5 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
And so in that context, I mean, I've gone through so many phases of my own life, and you know, the store is such a fun place, and there are some nights where I'm, Bill Billingsley and I'm lit or whatever. I'm like smoking weed. I'm like, tonight, let's go there. Let's take it to the edge. Let's see what the fuck is up. I want to see whatever it is and explore that from an artistic level. And
We should do a Kill Tony all in mushrooms.
oh my God. Even Jeremiah.
Yeah.
No. I feel like Jeremiah does mushrooms. He's just normal. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
even do anything to him. I'm so pro him never doing anything because it almost scares me. Like if Jeremiah ever did like an actual drug, I feel like it would change. It might affect him in a weird way.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to change. He's great.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think everyone needs to change, but I just know, like, especially doing acid, and I don't want to do it again. Like, I feel like I've
A fan
enough of
allegedly
it.
gave me acid in Sacramento, and I think I threw it away on accident. But I was thinking about doing like a piece of it, but I'm really scared about it just because of the chemical aspect of it.
Yeah, that's why, and you don't know where it comes from. Like, at the time, I actually knew, like, who made it, and I, like, trusted
Your
them.
Wiccan church made it.
No, but I remember, like, seeing them make it. Like,
Damn, that's
so
cool.
I was like, okay.
How much? Can I ask you a true question? How much cum is in acid?
I didn't see any.
Sorry. All right, cool.
But it was like I felt safe with that, but I wouldn't want to do it now. And like I don't do ecstasy, like that stuff scares the
See,
shit
I've
out of
been
me,
toying
like,
around with doing that again. I did that maybe a year ago.
That just I don't know, like it. I get it, especially if you don't feel good. Like
You know what
it's a
scares me
drug
about the
that makes you
ecstasy?
feel good. Like,
Is the come down.
yeah.
That's where it gets real dark for me. I mean, I don't do well with come downs just in general. Like,
Me either. Like I
and
don't.
now you
care
ask
for
me
that.
how much cum is in my come down. A lot. All right. No. Yeah, I
Have
don't
you
know.
ever just tried cum?
No, I've thought. No, it's weird. You know what's weird about it? This is a hot take. I'd be more open to having someone else's cum than my own. Because
That
for
makes sense.
some reason, like I don't want to taste what comes out of my body. I don't want to taste what comes out of somebody else's body either.
Do you think a cow ever drinks its own milk?
No, but their babies do.
Yeah, but that's different.
You're right.
'Cause, like, your
You think
babies
a
could
cow ever
drink your
drinks its own cum? Straight from the horn.
Let's move.
Yeah. So that's
on.
what straight from the horse's mouth means. Actually, it's.
I've never heard that expression.
You never heard? You heard it from straight from the horse's mouth?
Oh, a horse's mouth. Yeah.
What did you? What did you think I said?
Horn's mouth?
Straight from the horn's mouth. Horn's Mouth, Wisconsin. The new, but yeah, I don't know. So we'll talk about more like as far as like how much you take for a microdose because I just found I've met someone who has a scale and I think I
Yeah,
might
and I
start
take
doing
this
it.
lion's mane, which is
Have
just
you ever?
a regular
Not to
mushroom.
cut you off. Have you ever microdosed and drank in the same day?
Yeah.
Does it intensify it? Like, is that something I shouldn't
Well,
do?
I don't really feel like sometimes. So I basically have this chocolate bar, and I cut up into little pieces. So
Well,
I'm
that's
not.
just chocolate.
Yeah,
Are you
it's just
microdosing
and
chocolate?
then I go to the shrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's baked into the chocolate.
Okay.
And
I think I know. Are you getting it from the? Never mind.
No,
We'll talk about
you
this
say
later.
first and last name.
Yeah.
But then I chop it up into little squares, so it's like just a little bit amount. So I'm not like tripping.
Gotcha.
But sometimes because it's mixed in, like other pieces are more than others. So
Yeah, it's hard to
some
gauge.
days I'm like, wow, I feel really happy. And then I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
but I
this
was gonna ask that. What is the?
So
I
I
mean, as
never
far as
feel like
benefits, what is
tripping.
it? Yeah.
Like tripping to me is like the walls are moving. And yeah, but like this is just like I feel really happy and I feel focused and I feel creative. And those are all things I want to feel all the time.
Does it ever make you sad that it's like synthetic? Like,
No.
well, that you know that it's not that it's gonna go away, or is it more of
It
like a
really-
happiness that is like this true sort of like it's basically like the true center of happiness revealing itself to you, so you're cool with that because you're like, oh, this is out there, that love is out there, things are gonna be okay, sort of happiness, not like this fake, like
Yeah,
I'm happy
yeah.
while I'm high, but now I'm not high anymore, I'm sad.
That's a really good question because I never really thought of it like that. But it always makes me feel good because I was taking like vitamins to like feeling deficient
Yeah.
or like ashwagandha.
Yeah, I have
or,
all
like,
that shit. Yeah,
you know,
I've
like,
done the tea, all that. Yeah.
It's like and tea, like any food or drinks, like that's all the same stuff. So this natural plant can make me feel all the things I want to feel in life.
Man.
Then why not? And it's not hurting anything. Like I don't feel it come down, and I do. Some days I just forget to eat it, and I feel it's like kind of lasting. Like maybe I'm achieving this space, and I know I can get there, so it's easier to get there again.
Yeah.
Even if I don't take it.
That's cool.
So it all just feels really good. Like I haven't.
I had a really,
downsides.
really dark phase in my life a couple years ago, and I was I went to the hospital a few
It's
times
when we met, right?
Those were the darkest times of my life.
Yeah.
Black cloud over my life.
What
Well, I want to
hospital?
talk about that too before we're done. David, how are we doing on time here? We're 50. Okay, cool. We have another hour to go.
Like a mental hospital or a
Yeah, no. So so I went to what happened was I've had phases in my life where I have really bad panic attacks that are almost like are so bad that I get really terrified, and I'll go to the emergency room like because I know that they'll give me like Ativan or something to stop it.
Oh wow.
And whatever, like I've talked about this on other shows. I mean, like anyway, it doesn't matter like
Right.
what got me there, but I had a really dark phase, and I remember getting prescribed Ativan, and there was a day where I was really going through it, man. I had my AC on, my heater on, and I would lay down, and I couldn't lay down for more than like 30 seconds. I was going like and like standing up
Oh,
and like
shit.
walking around my room, going to my living room, or like talking to my mom, like, Mom, I'm fuck, I can't do this, like going back to my room, putting the blankets, being so incredibly tired, not being able to sleep, just being up, hot, cold. I mean, the heater and the AC is like more of like an external sort of representation of what like my body was going through, but I was trying to control my temperature because I was
Right.
going in and out, and so they gave me Ativan, and I remember like it worked a couple times. It worked enough to put me to sleep a few times, but then I remember the last phase when shit got real dark, I took the Ativan, and I was like, I remember having this moment where I was on the Ativan, so I was physically feeling relaxed, but going, oh, when this wears off, I'm right back to it.
Oh no.
And it was the most awful thing, Jessie. It was this thing where I was now fearing when the Ativan was gone.
Because you have to face it.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, this
You can't
is.
just put Band-Aids over
I
it.
didn't. It stopped working. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like I feel good, but this is fake, and like it's over soon.
So what did you do?
I mean, I had some really good friends that got me through the time. You know, like I
Yeah.
literally, a couple of friends of mine like saved my life. I mean, it's like, yeah, it was rough because I wasn't. I've said this on the show before. Like I don't think I've ever been truly suicidal. Like it's never been like, I'm almost so scared of death. I don't think I could ever do that. But I was so close to that feeling of like, it wasn't suicidal. It was more like, I need this to stop. But my friends just like, they got me through it, man. I got my friend up. I mean, I might as well say their names. John Chesky, who's like a really close friend of mine. My friend Katie Fischel and Ahmed Weinberg. I mean, they were like literally there for me. Like when it got like rough.
I'm so
You know,
glad.
Katie was like, what do you need? You got to run errands? I'll sit in your truck with you. We'll go run errands. Like, let's go do it. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right. She just literally sat in my car while we did stuff that I needed to do that day because I was about to leave on tour. And that's another scary one. I mean, like, it was like I had to leave the country. Not the
yeah?
country. No. This was the state. I was going to New York. And alone, too. Like, Jeremiah didn't come on this run. So I was like, I'm going to be in a hotel room alone.
Oh
in
my
this
God.
mode. I don't
Remember
know what.
how nervous I was
And
with
even
you? Yeah.
funnier, the hotel room they booked us outside of a cemetery. Like
Really?
I opened my window and there's a cemetery there. It was like the worst, like, you know, reminders. And but yeah, so I mean, just thank God for friends, and also thank God for like what I always try to do is like melt the stigma of like talking about this shit. Like the fact that I have people in my life that I can say that to, you know,
Yeah.
like we gotta be able to like speak about. I mean, Mr. Rogers said this, and I'll always bring this up. Todd Glass always talks about it. If it's mentionable, it's manageable, he said. And so
That's
there are a
awesome.
lot of things in life we can't mention, I mean, that you can't manage. And like, so by being able to mention it really helped me be able to manage it and get like a hold on it, you know. And it's interesting, man. There's a photo of me at that time that our buddy Van took, and he thought I was just thinking really deeply. But it's this photo, this scary photo, where I'm probably in one of the most like dark places of my life
shit.
ever, and now I get to look at it as a reminder of like when I get there again, I have to remind myself that, like you said earlier, like you said something about that was like you know that there is another side to this. I know that I will be normal again, because in this phase, I thought I was never gonna be back to normal. I thought my brain broke.
Yeah.
I thought I was never gonna know what it was like to be that again, and that was really scary. You know, when I was in the hospital, they said, "Hey, we could send you to the psych ward, but." I'm going to be honest. The guy told me, he's like, there's a lot of screaming up there. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, he goes, the way you are right now, it might make it worse. So he was honest. And I agree. I mean, where I was, it could have been a bad thing.
It could have been really bad. And
So
the way
who
you
knows?
pulled through it is like amazing. And
I mean,
that you're sharing it with other people.
Well, I didn't
with-
want that, but here we go. But
no, it's
you know,
true.
Yeah.
If you can mention it, it's manageable, and other people can't mention it. And the fact that you're talking about it sparks like a, I don't know. In this whole hour, we've been talking about stuff that I normally don't talk about, because
Yeah.
usually it's just laugh.
Yeah, and I wanted that, and I thought what I was gonna say was, because when I think about the seagull thing and you yelling "kill them," I was so excited for you to be the first guest, because I feel like sometimes I lose that silly comedy stuff. Like shit gets serious. Like, yes, we're always joking. There's a few thoughts here. Remind me about like constantly riffing, and I'll get back to that. It's like I'm telling you, like, remember the number 635. I'm calling the pizza place. You know, when you have like a group of people and you're like, all right, you remember 6'3", you remember 7'4", you remember, all right. But I've missed sort of, and I do it with Jeremiah. Jeremiah does it, and I'm a huge Todd Glass fan. I've brought it up millions of times, but he does like all these bits on his show, like, you know, where you're, I don't know, just like fake bits or like life bits. And that to me, that day on the beach, that's what that felt like when I was high and freaking out. When you did that, I go, oh, like there's so much joy here. Like I can melt and we can be silly and I don't have to be in my head and so scared and nervous. Like we can yell, kill them to the seagulls and whatever, you know.
It's all about balance too, because like talking to you about all this stuff, like real shit, and it doesn't always have to end in a punchline is really cool.
Yeah.
But like
I worry still, and I'm still, that's almost like a disease. I once Googled if talking too much was a disease, because I thought I had that because I talk a lot. But
and Google's like, shut up.
Yeah. But so I was excited to have you, because I was like, I feel like me and you could literally, I'll even throw out a crazy number, for an hour we could have a talk that's not even a real, we're just being silly, we're not even making sense. I feel like we could like I heard these stories about George Carlin. Him and his daughter would go to the market and they would argue in gibberish in the produce aisle. They would scream at each other like in like a fake Russian sounding language, like screaming at each other just for their own thing. Like the people would be looking at them like, you're crazy. Yeah, not even running, just living the bit almost. And I crave that and love it so much. And me and Serena do it all the time. Like we're just like, we have the dumbest bits, and it just brings so much joy, because life is so sad sometimes, and like so many changes, right? And like everything is it feels like an uphill battle a lot of the time. And when you get to have those bits, you feel like Sisyphus, right? Like you're rolling this rock up the hill all day, and then finally the bits feel like, not only did you make it to the top of the hill, your friend helped you get to the top of the hill, and then now you both get to hold onto the rock and slide down the other side and be like, and just yell like, wee, you know, you made it. And it's like this little bit of release in this challenging life, you know. And so I was like really excited to have you on, because I thought it would get really silly, but then also the reason we can get so silly is because we can have these other sort of talks about these things.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We never talk about this stuff.
Yeah. You're
usually just like, hey, idiot.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, shut up,
I wanted to do that today, yeah. And also, the riffing in public was like, when I started comedy. I was
supposed to remind you about that.
Well, you didn't, and you fucked up.
Hey, remember about the riffing in public.
Okay, hold on. Let me remember. You know, I remember one time I was riffing in public, and, I got into comedy because not why I got into it, but like, do you ever watch that show, The Green Room, or like, there were always these shows, right? Like with like Patrice and all those guys sitting at like a table, like riffing with each other, like, you know, and it always felt like, I was like, man, I want to be one of those guys. I want to like be at the table where everything is a joke and we're always riffing and like, oh, your mother and this and that, whatever.
Right.
But then you get into comedy and you realize that shit annoys some people. They don't like it. That a lot of times I've been told by people, "Oh, you never turn it off," or like, "Oh, dude, you're it's all everything's a bit. Oh, you're always riffing." And I was like, "Well, what the fuck are we in this for?" Like I thought that's what this was. Like I want to joke with my friends, and I remember like I was at an open mic at the Silver Lake Lounge, and this fucking, now he's probably a loser musician who never did anything with his life. Anyway, I'm sorry, this is like me at the beach
taking a photo on a rock with
exactly. Yeah. No, he was like, "Oh, you really don't ever turn it off, do you?" And I was like, I remember going like,
and then he strummed the guitar chord.
Then he did his best Bob Dylan impression. "Oh, he never turns it off. I'm at the Silver Lake Lounge, and people are singing, and we're in Silver Lake."
Oh, I wish I had my harmonica.
That's like if Bob Dylan met John Lennon. Bob Lennon is the new character. He's running for office.
Not John Dylan.
John Dylan's a bastard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, son of a bitch. He I don't want to talk about what he did to me. Yeah.
But what happened with that guy?
I don't know. He's a nobody now.
Unlike us.
But he hurt we're Z-list. I always joke that if the alphabet had negative letters, like the way numbers have
like
negative,
ZZ.
we're a negative. We're an A-list celebrity at that point. Don't worry.
But that's what we're doing on Kill Tony. We're literally just like anytime.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you try to get serious.
Yeah. Well.
And then everybody's like, "What's he doing?"
Yeah, it's never really that serious. I think that a lot of the stuff people used to groan at me for was the stuff that I got the most love for on Kill Tony, which was nice.
Oh yeah, well I remember my first time in the band when we were like runners. And
oh yeah, that was so fun. That was a good one.
I had like a home run joke, and it was just why I want to bring it up. So
I
it was
love
so
it. Can't
funny.
wait.
But this girl came up and she did a minute. A woman came up and did a minute about suicide bombings.
Shopping.
No, suicide
her
bombings.
husband. No, I'm just kidding.
It was all about like I don't know. It was literally a minute about a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
And then through her interview, it had came up that she had thought about suicide at one time.
Oh wow.
But her minute bombed, so I had made the joke that it seems like she was the suicide bomber.
I remember who it was.
And everybody
I know who
went
it was.
crazy and was clap, 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 and like, "You're so funny." And I was just like soaking in the sunlight, and then you were like, "So did you reach out for mental health?" And I was like, "Damn, I'm like such an asshole." But I thought, wow. But I also thought, wow, what a good moment.
Wait, what was your joke?
I said that she seemed like the suicide bomber.
Oh, that's funny. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was literally like the lights changed, and it was like my first real home run on the show.
That was pre-Vrooms, right?
Pre what?
Vroom, vroom.
Oh yeah, pre-Vrooms for sure. It was before I was even
Damn.
in the band officially.
Damn,
it was
that's
my
awesome.
first time filling in for Jeremiah.
It's funny because the first couple times we called you in, and David's giving me the light. I know we got to get out of here. Do I have like 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay. When before you were a part of the band, I mean, I called you at least on some of the most like stressful occasions for me, like as a ringer to come in and help, you know. Honestly, the first time we did that, I think me and Jeremiah were in a Uber on our way home from the airport. He couldn't be there, or we were looking for something, and we both looked at each other. And I was like, "What about Jesse?" And he's like, "Dude, he was literally on his phone, like going for your number." Like we both had a moment where we were like, "Oh fuck," we thought the same thing.
He's like, "What's her name?"
No.
No, just
No, he was like, "Dude, I'm literally like thinking the same." We had this moment where it happened at the same time. And
that was so cool.
And so, but I remember calling you because anytime Jeremiah's not there, there's kind of a lot of pressure on me to sort of like keep it together. And it always you seem like the person to call, you know.
Thanks, man. It was like the best.
Yeah, here
this
you are.
was like such a great fit. I love playing the music, and then even though like I love talking about life and just deep shit, and just like I get so fulfilled like having these conversations, which I rarely get to get. So I thank you for that. But like the Kill Tony and stuff, it's really fun too. Oh, it's also fun, on the flip side too, just the double-edged sword.
If anybody knows where to get one of those, email us at mostlysorrypod@gmail.com.
Literally any
or
sword
send us
store.
one.
Any store that sells swords.
I don't
They're all
believe it.
double-edged.
Then why does it have a special name? Why isn't it just a sword?
Because you can't be like, well, I mean, it's a sword.
Yeah, you can.
That's stupid.
What other items are double-edged?
I I don't know. I
Well,
don't.
if you
there
know
are
that,
any.
email us anyway. Go ahead, finish. What were you saying? David's freaking out right now. The fans can't see him, he's screaming at the walls right
I'm
now.
not
He's
freaking
like,
out, dude. Just wrap it up. It's
no,
all
he's
good.
going.
We'll
We've
have
got,
Jesse
like,
back.
He goes. I'm not freaking out, but wrap it up.
What do we
We'll
have?
have
Like
Jesse back.
30 minutes?
What?
Can we have like 30 minutes? Please.
He's looking at him. He's looking at us so mad.
Please, David.
Yeah, please.
We're in someone's property.
David, oh my God.
Quality, not quantity.
He
Why
needs
don't
to
you
start
guys-
microdosing. He really
Yeah.
needs to.
No,
Or
I
you
just
ever thought of being a Wiccan?
I macrodose.
I bet
Ooh.
if David at macrodose right now, we'd have 30
Yeah,
more
I guess we
minutes.
would probably have infinite amount of time since time doesn't exist. But anyway,
Okay. Anyway, well, that's it, guys. We got to get the fuck out of here soon. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that's all I want to say is it's the real conversations. I think it's all about balance. Are just as fun as the riffing conversations.
Yeah.
You really got it. You can't be on all the time, but
I'm hoping
Like-
that this today, I mean, when I rewatch, I'm going to leave here and be real sad about what happened here because I'm like, well, not you. I go, man, I'm all over the place. I'm screaming. I'm fucking asking these deep questions. I'm probably moving on before you gave answers that people wanted to know.
no.
And to them, I say, get your own podcast.
Yeah,
It's
hit
easy.
me
Everybody
up.
has one, you fucking idiots. And also, we love you. Thanks. Shout out to the Patreon. Before we go, is there anything you want to say? I mean, like, any fucking, I don't know. I always just check in if there's any, but like, I don't know if people have like things they think about, recommendations, or like things they want to like, you've had on your chest that you want to like say, and we can do a quick little, recap with that. I know this is like a heavy question at the moment, but yeah. No, please, yeah.
I think my new dog is like the happiest thing, and I had a dog for 17 years who passed, and it was so sad. And Joel lost a family member recently,
Yeah.
and it was really hard.
Ugh.
And it's the hardest thing you could do in life. And I think that if anybody is watching and lost a dog, and they should reach out. And also, it's like the best thing in the world because you had such a great friendship. But I will also say that I mean, you need to let it breathe a little bit for sure, but
It's been, yeah.
it was really hard to get a new dog because I thought I was like cheating on my old dog.
Yeah.
And
Like replacing it or whatever, yeah.
but I came to this realization that love is like infinite, and you have enough room in your heart to like love another thing like without loving something else less.
Yeah,
Because love is just love, and
just
there's
love,
not a
yeah.
quantity of it.
yeah.
And I don't know. I just wanted to check in with you and how you're doing with that. And
Yeah, it's definitely been enough time now where I'm like looking back at it. It's weird. I still have like my moments. Like the other day, I opened my room door and I was like, I thought I saw him like walking to my
Yeah.
door, but it was one of those just Twitch things. But I'll just say this. I've been meaning to say this on the show, and we'll wrap it up. But like, if you got pets, hug them, squeeze them tonight. Give them a
lick 'em.
whatever. Yeah, buy them some bougie steaks every now and then. They love it. But that's it. Yeah, we are using another person's space. This was so fun. We're learning the shape of the show as we go along. I think this is the first big step for me where I like felt this is who I am most of the time, I think, but it's so it's interesting to get it on video tonight. It'll be I might not even like watching it later. I'll be like, who the fuck is this guy? But
well, because I'm on screen. Watch it like this.
I'll block. Yeah, we're gonna cut you out. We're gonna put
David's face on
yeah, we're
me.
gonna put David's face. But that's it. Yeah, this was great. This is our trial run, first episode with a guest. Very happy that it was you.
Thanks
This is
for having
awesome. Thanks, David, for securing the space, for all the work you do. Is there anything you want to recommend?
I just recommend that this ends soon.
Oh
Wow.
my
Well,
God.
there you
Roasted.
go. Well,
Roasted.
Love you,
got
David.
him.
recommend that.
Thanks for being here, Jet Ski.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah,
Vroom,
and we
vroom.
love you guys. Shout out to the Patreon, and hopefully we can do more of these. That's why we got to get out of here so we don't rub them the wrong way. But we love you guys. And until next week.
Gunshots on a gun, underwater bait. Guilt trip, drugs are inside